trying to think. There was other things, yeah. And then because of water and because of the plume, and so those were all things that mattered to us, right? And recently we got involved with the rent control because the
Hmm.
rent is outrageous. Like I can't even
Right.
afford. I live in Bakersfield. I have a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom condo, and I can
Hmm.
afford that comfortably. And I can't even afford like a shack over there in Delano because the rents are so high.
Hmm.
And that's hard. You imagine farm workers. That's why there has to be so many families in a home, or they're renting the garage, or So we got involved in the rent control, the Delano Guardians, since we can. That's nonpartisan, and we can do. That's important. So
Hmm.
there was many issues that through the Guardians that we could work on, and
Hmm.
yeah. So that's how, and how we end up forming the RCD was when we were working with the state. So, but we
Hmm.
needed to be able to have a community group, and then the city had to be involved, and the state in order to form that. Um, in order to form that, there had to be community group that was involved and engaged. And
Hmm.
so but like after 10 years of chingy chingy, of being there, catching their ear and showing
Right.
up to meetings and everything, then when we finally got the changes in the council with people
Hmm.
who were in agreement with it, like even there was a lot of murders happening, gang murders. So we, the Guardians, we started getting involved in Hope and Heal, and we went through a whole session. I was also with the city appointed to a board to help reduce the violence. And so they ended up they got a grant. I think it was 1 million. They got a grant to hire somebody to work with families because there was a lot of victims of violent. What do they call it? Victims of violent crimes. And one of my cousins' granddaughter, she was 11, and another little girl was 12. They got murdered. They were outside on a water slide. It was a birthday party, and there was a drive-by. So here they were innocent. And then one of my other friends, her son, they were at a place where one of their friends had had an accident and died. And so somebody came by and did a drive-by and shot my friend's son, died. And so I just knew a lot of the people. So right away, what I did is I called the chief of police and called a meeting, and I called all those friends that were affected, the mothers, and said, we need to have a meeting with the chief of police, and I'll put this meeting together, and then I'll facilitate it, and you guys can share about what your concerns are and your issues. So that's how we ended up doing the Hope and Heal, and then they ended up getting the city ended up getting the grant. And
Hmm.
like I said, if there's a need, that is my community. Wherever there's a need, that's my community. So when we were doing, when we first got together, like I said, if I wish I could remember the name, with the cancer, I kind of get brain fog, but it's coming back now. But we would do working in Wasco, McFarland, Wasco, and Shafter, and then
Hmm.
sometimes we do Arvin and Lamont. Some of the smaller communities.